Welcome back to Igniting Minds, the Power of Knowledge, the show where we spotlight change makers in education, marketing, and the real business world. Today, we are thrilled to welcome Jessica Sztaimberg, who holds an MBA in International Education and serves as a dedicated career advisor at UNH. Championing support for underrepresented students, Jessica co-chair the NACA Women in the Career Service and is an active member in the University of Connecticut Council for Neurodiversity Employment. Apart from her professional roles, Jessica is passionate about health and mindfulness, balancing her career with her role as a mother. She will discuss student success story and how Career Development Center helps a student to achieve their dream job. Jessica, we are delighted to have you with us to share your wisdom and insights. Hi Jessica, first of all, I would say thank you from bottom of my heart giving time, and I know how busy you are. Every day you do so much in University of New Haven. Giving welcome back on Igniting Minds, the Power of Knowledge, which talks about more on knowledge side of it, education side of it. So would you like to talk a little bit about yourself and what you do and what is your vision?
Sure. So thank you so much for having me today. I am delighted to be here and share some of my story. So to start off with a little bit about my background, I would first say that I've really been inspired to help students because of some of the experiences that I have been through as a student. So starting as an undergraduate student, going abroad for the first time to Australia, that's where my life changed, and I knew that I wanted to meet other students who were diverse and somehow work in a career where I could travel. So since then, I have been working in many different roles, finding my way, and now I've landed here at UNH, and this is my second year I'm here, and I'm happy to tell you more about being a career advisor.
How you're feeling at UNH and America?
How am I feeling?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of when I'm talking about you are dealing with many students, since like you are one of the career advisor in UNH, Career Development Center. It's such a heavy department, I would say. A lot of pressure you come up. A lot of students have stress. Native students and international especially, right? Domestic students, they will have, every student have their own issues. So how do you handle that particular thing? And first, how you got interest in Career Development Center?
Yeah. So with my background being in international education, I've worked a lot with students, advising them and traveling and building up my own skills. And I got to a point where I just really wanted to help other students be able to build their skills. And so when I found this position, it matched so many of the skills that I had, yet it was a little different because I hadn't done career advising, but I'd advised students. So I could bring my unique background where I've traveled and where I've lived other places, and I have programming experience and I have enrollment experience, and I'm able to pull from that. And so career advising brought all of that together, and now I can work with students in a really fulfilling way to help them navigate their next steps.
Okay, so what is one of the challenges you are facing in your specifically like here as being a career development center?
So I think that a challenge that not just UNH is facing is undergraduate student engagement. It's something that we're always thinking, how can we reach more undergraduate students? Maybe they don't know about our services yet, or they think that it's not time for them to use our services as they are just entering the university. So we are trying to integrate more and more into the university. You'll see us within athletics, student affairs, going into classes to meet students where they are at, because we want to engage more and more students.
So let me understand the focus area, the one of the challenge you are facing to get more undergrad student. And for that, what are the initiative you are doing?
So my office is focusing on building up specific relationships with campus partners, within athletics, within different departments that serve underrepresented students, and then within student affairs. So there have been 3 career advisors hired to specifically focus on those areas and help integrate engagement from the university across the university within those departments.
So this is the focus area for 2024 UNH.
So for last year, we focused a lot on those 3 areas, and we have 3 advisors who are really trying to build up those relationships. But we also have an employer relations team who are trying to actively bring more employers on campus to give students more and more opportunities and hopefully engage them in different ways to target more engagement.
Okay, so if I talk about the international student,
Yes.
how CDC is supporting them and how they are, trying to reach out to students. There are certain students who are very, outspoken. They just come and try to find their own ways. But there are certain students who are like very overthinker, who just like, because for them it's overseas and identifying absolutely different. Everyone is new, so they can't find the right person to talk about their career and so much like regarding the money perspective. So how do you handle that particular zone for that?
I love working with any overthinkers. I really do, because we have answers. We help you get answers. We have resources that we can refer you to. So just coming to us and sharing, what is your concern? What is your question? Thinking through, what do I do next? All of that is the reason that my office exists. We want to support students. So please come and ask us if you're the confused student, or if you think you know what you want to do. We are here for you. And for international students, we also have a lot of targeted programming. So we work directly with different offices on campus who support international students, and we create programs and resources and build relationships so that we can help get to know you and get to know what you're looking for to help you with your career development.
Okay, so with this, what I would say, whoever is joining UNH coming first time, I would say have a knowledge about the department where you have to go rather than sitting at home. Come and just see hi, hello to people. So we have like multiple department like CDC, which is one of the important and for international student for sure. So meet Jessica. For OGISL, you have to go and speak to Dorothy. So you need to have that kind of department knowledge when you are coming here. So and Jessica will help you out further way going. So from here, I want to know, what is your one of the joyful or happy time during your work? How your day look like? You come, you do. A lot of students, they must be like, what they do exactly, and how your one day looks like, and what is one of the joy or you enjoy the part of it?
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons I took this job was because I get to be creative and I get to collaborate, and those two values are very important to me. So throughout the week, I get to be creative in many different ways. It can look different every day. So sometimes that means putting on a program with some students and focusing on international student engagement. Sometimes that might mean doing a class presentation, creating a new presentation for the first time. And it's always exciting that there's something else I could do, something new I can look forward to, a new connection. I have the whole university as resources. So all the different departments are here, and I can build relationships and connections and start to grow more and more initiatives for my department. So that definitely fuels me. And then meeting the students like yourself who come to my programs, and I get to know you, and I get to know some of the things that you're working on and help you find opportunities. That's always really exciting. And when students come back and tell us we got an internship or they have a job or whatever they're doing next, that's exciting that we see what happened after we worked with them.
It's kind of, you are a part of some student's journey. You see them like coming here and see how they are growing. Every like milestone you are witness of seeing those angle, and then you see the joy moment as well, like the moment they come up with some certain achievements, right? And also I feel when we are here, the diversity and different kind of students, you look at the topic we discuss about the different kind of, one person is discussing about their country thing, so the enhancement of knowledge is also a pretty high on that angle. Knowing about that, you have a kids, you have like a professional, and I see like a lot of like a stress here comes up. How do you handle the work pressure in that moment?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I have a son who is 7.5, named Jacob, and he is obviously a really important part of my life. And so to manage showing up for him and being there at the end of his day is something I've practiced my own time management, and I've learned to open up about what I need from my employer. If I have to leave early to go to a conference for him, or if he's sick, I have to communicate with my employer. And so learning that that's okay to do, to be authentic and to be real about what I need, that's really helped me to manage both my personal life and then my work life.
Okay, so UNH in career department, they are flexible towards like having a people, if they have like personal, they are flexible towards that.
Yes, and my team has many different life experiences, with some of us being younger and starting our careers, and then some of us have older children, and so it's nice to have a team like that where I can see how they manage with their own family and learn from them.
So work environment, I would say it's really good, and you are enjoying that particular.
Yes.
Oh, that's perfect. Now, what is the initiative? Like if I talk about the future, what are the initiative you are taking and your team is taking to achieve certain next goal? Or what is, I would say first, like what is your next goal?
Yeah, so good question. What is really exciting is that in just a few weeks, my team is meeting to discuss what we did this year and review all of our data and the engagement that we had, and then to brainstorm for what we're going to do next year. So we are still in the process of figuring out all of our new initiatives, but we're really excited to start collaborating and more programs, and we're just excited to see what happens.
Okay, so and you might have heard about the Power On new campaign going on around the college, right? The university. How CDC is associated, and if you can relate to that particular campaign.
To Power On. Well, I think that with my office, we're all about outcomes. We want students to leave and have their next goal and hopefully have accomplished goals. So you are ready to go to grad school, you're ready to take on an internship, a job. So all of that takes power. You need to be able to put in the time and put in the work. And those are the enthusiastic students who are powering through and getting to that next step, and my office is there to support students that way.
That's perfect. So whenever you give advice, you say like power on. That's nice. Would you like to share some sort of student story, success story, where like you have witnessed and we were discussing about the milestone, the journey of the student. Would you like to share some those kind of examples?
Yeah, I have students who have been really nervous really nervous to talk in front of other people. And right when they meet me, they ask me, how do you do it? How can I practice? And to see those students throughout the semester trying more and more, and then taking opportunities to do a mock interview, and then getting a real interview, and then getting a job offer, it's really rewarding for them, and they're so proud to have done all this work, and then it does pay off. So those are some of the successes. Also, networking. I've seen so many students put themselves out there, meet people at church, at a volunteer opportunity, on campus, and then through that they get connected for another job or for an internship. And again, that's just such a rewarding experience for them that they were able to try something new, meet someone new, and it turns into something.
That's amazing. Okay.
So I wanted to share a little bit more about success stories and advice from students. And at a recent program with student athletes, we were asking them, how do they manage everything and how have they been successful? And I asked at the end of the session students to write a quote in this book. One student said, "You only see the success stories. You don't see what it takes to get there. There's behind the scenes that you don't see." And I really liked that because we talked in that session about how it does take time, it does take learning from mistakes to be successful. And it's not always as simple and quick as you see, especially on social media or LinkedIn, people posting their new job or an internship that they got, and you're comparing yourself, but the success is the journey too, going through and learning and growing. So I just want to say that that is just as important as the end result.
And I can totally resonate to that. The moment social media is like another pressure now these days. If you are like, always like you can't get the success. If like 10 failure, then you get like 1 success or 2 success, right? So and social media is available everywhere. That where like you see like, oh, your colleagues and your classmates, they got hired by some. So it's kind of pressure, and you are overseas where you don't have families. So specifically for international student, it gets so much difficult, that particular situation to handle, where like you don't have family to console. Okay, you'll be gonna good. So I think it's very important when you come here to find a mentor, because that mentor gonna help you, guide you, and you build emotional connect with that person. So I think like that's how like you play the role over here, that student, they pressurize. And one of the best thing I feel is CDC is very like open. Whenever any student comes, they just come and say it. You don't need to like too much follow on the appointments and all. It is there, but if they are not even though feeling, they have an answer to say it. Okay, sit there, we're gonna be here in a minute, 2 minutes. That's one of the best thing I like about CDC, and that's how like CDC is helping international students. So thank you so much for sharing that. On a daily basis, you meet a number of students. Everyone has their different story. Since we talk about the success, I definitely drag my attention towards failure as well. So I want to know something where you have seen, or where the student failure, and then they got so this nervous, or where like, and then CDC helped them, and then they got the something nice or achievement. So do you have some sort of like those stories?
Yes, I do. So I have students who have been helping with programming, and they've been nervous to talk in front of a group, and maybe they made a mistake, they said something wrong, or they did something they didn't want to do, and were embarrassed, and it was upsetting at the time. But talking to them, giving them a hug, talking through what they could do to help get over the experience and move on, I've seen really dramatic results with students thinking that, okay, it's okay, I made this mistake, I can learn from it, I'm going to try harder, I'm going to try to find more opportunities to develop these skills rather than just give up. And that's because you have someone who's telling you, it's okay, keep going, and my office is there to motivate and to help students through that.
And also I have noticed you also advise to enhance certain student skill set when you talk to them. And I remember I was there, I Know series last year, I believe, where one of the graduating students, she was one of the panelists. And when I spoke to her one-on-one, I said, and that time I was very new. So that time I asked, okay, how did you get the particular, role? And since I was very interested on that particular role, so I just asked her, where she mentioned, oh, Jessica, I just went to Jessica and I said like, I need to improve that particular, skill set. So she had few initiatives, like they were like coming up, and she said probably would you like to play a role in that. So I just got the opportunity and I felt like it's very fit for that. Then I was like, oh, pretty well. I mean, like, then I should connect to Jessica for sure, like, not leave her. So those, I think, experience really nice. And I would request a student that please, rather than being at home, be spend most of the time in the university. These 1 or 2 years, you're one of the special where you can do a lot of mistake, and you can probably ignore doing mistake in your professional life. So build something, do something, and it's very exciting. People here, they are there like to guide you and help you out, like I shared my story to you, right? So it's such an amazing, Jessica, where you are bringing all those points. Now another thing, as I mentioned, I recently saw one hoarding outside, which is more on a campus placement. It says 98% campus placement. I want you to talk about that, how you, and in CDC, I'm pretty much sure you have a specific database where you see all those, analytics, how many students are coming, how many students are getting placed in the company. So what is the ratio and how do you do that?
Yeah, so we work very hard to integrate on campus so that 98% can stay there or go even higher.
Good.
So the amount of students who are finding employment in their field, hold on.
Okay.
98% of students found employment in their field or were going on to grad school, which is a great outcome because it's showing that our students are finding another step after they've graduated and they're doing something that's related to their field and they're pursuing another degree or they're taking on a full-time job or a part-time job that's in their field. So it's very important that my office exists to help students find those opportunities and develop their skills so that they're ready to find a job.
So do you just like to, since we are talking about the specific number, and I am from business analyst, I love like the numbers when anyone talk about that. So I wanted to understand how we calculate that 98%. Are we doing any survey? Are we doing anything like where students are graduating, they have to do certain things before their graduation ceremony? So what are
so students are surveyed and they get information sent to them, and then my office spends a great deal of time going in and looking at all of those results by major and doing further research on the students who didn't complete the survey, asking students to complete the survey again, so that we can collect the most accurate data.
Okay. So, I mean, that's nice, and I'm very excited to have those things for me as well, for my batch of students. And when we were like just walking, and we were like wondering, oh wow, this like a lot of like new campaign is going on and around us, and see some numbers. So I just thought like to give that question, because a lot of students, they came up with the question. So when I'm talking to one student, they talk a lot of nice and something nice, some questions, some doubts. Why? Because I think they can't just ask somebody like, okay, why you have written that. But it's just a dilemma of the student that, okay, on which angle we are looking particular this thing. And because it's something statement as a university we are giving, right? And for international, they come up with a lot of questions. So I just thought like to ask that. But it was really nice conversation. Now let's jump into the next round of podcast, okay? Where we mainly talk about, it's more on a word-to-word side. It's a game.
Okay.
And we will play some little game over here and get to know your mind.
Okay.
So one word I'm gonna say, where you have to, whatever comes in your mind, in just a second, you have to say that word.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Motto.
Cycle.
Okay. Inspiration.
Hard work.
Okay. Challenges.
Easy.
Goal.
Finish.
Okay. Tool.
Success.
Okay. Digital.
Digital.
Yeah.
Platform.
Mm-hmm. Fear.
Challenge.
Pride.
Opportunity.
Hobby.
Interest.
Okay. New Haven.
Awesome.
CDC.
Amazing.
Jessica.
Me.
That's so wonderful. Thank you so much, Jessica, for your time, and it was such a wonderful conversation, and I wish lot of student you gonna get this year and have like more perspective, no more success story like you have shared before. So Jessica, what advice would you like to give to international student to make most out of resource offered by Career Development Center at University of New Haven?
Okay, let's see. I would say please take chances. You're already out of your comfort zone. You're an international student. You're here. You're somewhere else, unfamiliar. That is okay. There are a lot of offices who are here to support you. And if you just find one person, start there. One person who you feel comfortable with, then it's 2 people, then it's 3 people. But put yourself out there. The more that you do that, the more that your network will expand, and you will, I promise you, you will find more and more opportunities, and you will become part of a community instead of staying by yourself and maybe being lonely and not knowing what to do. So go out and try new things and meet new people.
And me, Jessica in CDC. So with this, thank you so much for watching us. We'll meet you next time with next guest. Thank you. Bye.